In the forcible entry portion of this test, firefighter is going to be given a 10-pound sledgehammer. He's going to be striking this apparatus until the buzzer goes off. The keys to remember on this event is to remember that accuracy sometimes is more important than power. So we're going to focus on that. Each hit, driving from the legs and actually hitting the apparatus. To best replicate the forcible entry station, we're going to need two things. We've got our 8 to 10 pound sledgehammer, and we've got our object we're going to strike. Here I've got 3 tires, and they're bolted together with washers holding the tires in place, and that's going to be our striking surface. You can also wrap a tree and make the side of a tree a striking surface to practice that as well. Now what we're going to do is we're going to swing 15 times at the object we're hitting. 15 times. We're going to try to use a coordinated movement between our arms and our legs and focus on accuracy when hitting. Once you've done your 15 strikes, we're going to rest for 2 minutes and then try it again for a total of 3 bouts, 15 swings each time. Focus on driving, increasing your velocity and the power of the strike each time, but not sacrificing the accuracy of actually hitting the target. It's a coordinated movement with the arms and the legs striking. We're driving down through the core. Each bout we're trying to increase the velocity and the power of the hit every time. 15 hits, 2-minute rest in between. This is repeated 3 different times. Our next event is a search event. What this is a 64-foot crawl in the dark, 290-degree turns. It's to replicate the search procedures in a fire. What the firefighter is going to do is get on his hands and knees and enter the tunnel, watching his head. You can move in a duck walk or crawl fashion throughout the obstacle. When you complete and come out the other side, you're going to stand up and proceed to the next event. Simulating a search event is relatively easy. The only things we're going to need is a 75-foot length area, preferably in the grass. But if the only thing you have is a hard surface, remember to wear long pants and knee pads. And we're going back to the 50-pound backpack or weight vest if you have it. And the only thing we're doing is crawling on the ground for that 75-foot distance. Remember, keep them below 3 feet. We never want to raise our body above 3 feet. And somewhere occasionally along that 75-foot distance, we're going to drop ourselves down into a belly crawl or low crawl and go for distance of approximately 10 feet. This is simulating passing under those obstacles that we're going to find during that search event. The rescue portion of the CPAT test, many candidates find, is the physically most demanding. What this test portion consists of is a 165-pound dummy with some straps on it, and you're going to pick them up and drag them around a barrel and return them back to the start line. There's several different methods, but they all cover the basic premises that you have to have a strong back muscles and leg muscles. This is one of those events that's a combination in between strength and endurance. We're going to cover some of the different methods on carrying the dummy. You can reach down and pick up with 2 hands and drag them backwards around. But one of the problems with this is that you've got a lot of dragging surface. It's creating a lot of drag and making the exercise a lot harder. So if you'd like, you can also reach down further and pick up under the dummy and lift them up. This is going to put more stress on your back, but it's going to create less drag on the dummy, and you'll be able to carry it faster. And some people find that the method of reaching down with one hand and grabbing the dummy and just pulling with one hand, they find that's the best method for them. This event basically comes down to finding on the test practice days which method works for you the best and using that method on test day. In the rescue event, we're taking that 165-pound dummy, we're dragging it around the barrel and back again. So we need to look at how we can replicate that at the house. So I've got two examples of how we can do this. The Army duffel bag with sandbags in it. This is good because it's durable. It's not going to tear. It's got a lot of different options on how to grip it, and you can fill it up using the sandbags, rocks, weights, whatever, what have you, and we can bring that weight up to an actual 165 pounds. The other example, if you don't have an Army duffel bag from a surplus store, is we've got just a regular backpack, and just check with the backpack, the specifications on the backpack, and see what kind of weights it can take. But we're going to work with a weight that we feel comfortable with, and we're going to start adding weight to it until we get to either the maximum weight allowance that our pack can accept, or to a weight that we've built up to that you feel comfortable. Trying to get up to 165 pounds, but again, I really suggest getting the Army duffel bag to help replicate this. Then we're going to take a distance of 35 to 50 feet that we have to drag the dummy in, and we're going to build off of that. We're going to try with the lighter weights, pulling at 35 feet, and then resting for 2 minutes and trying it again. And we're going to progress slowly, lengthening the distance we drag it, 50 feet, and then eventually down 50 feet and back again to the beginning for a total of 100 feet, and resting for 2 minutes and doing it 4 times. And we're also going to make this event more difficult slowly over a period of time by adding weight. Say starting off with a weight of approximately 50 pounds and building it up to a weight more like the weight we're actually going to be pulling, which is 165 pounds. The first thing we're going to do is talk about the different grips that you can take on this. Generally, it's going to be easier with this duffel bag if you actually use some of the handles on it. There's many handles all around it, or you can actually grab with 2 hands, grab the actual canvas itself, or if it's more comfortable for you, reaching down and grabbing it by 1 hand and almost pulling as you're pulling it sideways. Another key notes to make this event easier is on the actual day when you go out there and use the dummy, getting the dummy up higher and having less friction on the ground, like his legs. The less he's dragging on the ground, it's going to create less of a friction for you, and you're going to be able to pull it easier. So I suggest when you do it at home, try the same method. Try getting it up higher and pulling it for your distance. Train the same way you're going to do it on the CPAT day. This is how it's going to look. We're bringing it down to our turnaround point, and we're going to start dragging it back. When he gets to the end, he's going to rest for 2 minutes, and he's going to dry it again. Each time he does it, we're getting a longer distance, and we're adding weight as we get stronger.